It was a rainy spring break day. I was home alone for the night and overcome with boredom. I was just chatting on Discord with my friend Noah, and I invited him over to hang out since I was bored. Once he arrived, I asked him what we should do. He suggested that we explore the deep web, which I thought was a great idea. I had never been on the deep web and didn't know how to get on it safely, but luckily Noah was good at that stuff and knew how to access it. He got on some deep web browser called the Hidden Wiki that could access .onion sites. We were scrolling through pages upon pages of links trying to find something interesting. Surprisingly, most of it was pretty mundane. We tried to steer clear of all the stuff like stolen identities, child pornography, red rooms, and so on. Eventually we came across this website where you can chat with other people like Omegle but on the deep web. Noah and I thought why not and decided to try it. Turned off our webcam since Noah and I thought it was too risky to show our faces. We came across normal people sitting in bedrooms who left the chat when they realized we didn't have a webcam. Eventually we came to this one low quality webcam. It was some girl wearing a black robe sitting in a dark room. Despite the fuzzy quality, we could make out a small bed, a dirty ass floor, cracks on the wall, and a table with a broken leg. The girl had this plain white mask on. Me and Noah just kind of watched her for a minute, wondering if something was going to happen, but the woman with the mask just remained completely still. I was just joking with Noah about how he had finally found something deep webbish when another figure stepped into the frame. It was a man wearing a burlap sack with one eye hole cut out and robes with the hood up. He walked behind the woman. Noah and I watched in awe as he slowly lifted the mask from the woman's face, and instantly her head slumped over. She was dead and had lifeless eyes and duct tape over her mouth. I decided that was enough, and I was about to drag my cursor to close the chat, but the cursor wouldn't move. It was frozen. I asked Noah why it wouldn't move, and he said in a panicked voice that they might have been hacking my computer. I yelled at him to stop hacking me as he slowly approached the camera until all we saw was his shrouded head with one eyeball staring at us through the sack. He held up a sticky note with the messy writing that read, "I want to see your face." I shouted no, but just then the blue light on the top of my computer flicked on, and me and Noah saw our faces appear on the chat. At this point I was screaming, "How the frick did he do that?" Noah tried pressing the Windows key, but the keyboard wasn't responding. We then tried the power button, but that wasn't responding either. Noah bent down and crawled under the desk, saying he'd unplugged my PC as I covered the webcam with paper. As Noah searched for the outlet, the man held up another sticky note. I stared in horror as I saw what was written on it. It was my home address. Just then, Noah yanked out the plug and the screen went black. We both sat there, breathing heavily and in shock. I was sweating all over. We sat there for about 10 minutes, not speaking a word, just processing. Eventually, Noah spoke in a shaky voice, recommending I throw out my PC and get a new one. I did just that. We never told anyone about this experience, and I've been having trouble sleeping ever since this happened. How did this man get my address? One thing's for certain, I'm never going on the deep web again.
I frequently like to browse the deep web with Tor and have never really had any of the scary experiences with it you hear about online until a couple weeks back. I had gotten home from football practice at around 7 and decided to hop on Tor and see if I could find anything. My little brother was watching TV and my parents were going to my sister's soccer game, so it was the perfect time to do a little browsing. I was snooping around on some black market forums and hacking forums. There's this one chat room where people were posting links to different pages. Most of it was illegal stuff I decided not to check out. This one user posted a link saying that anyone who was interested in finding darker parts of the deep web should check it out. I clicked on the link and it must have taken about a minute to load. It was another chat room with black background and red text and no website URL. There was about 6 people on the chat and I just watched them talk to each other for a little bit. From what I could gather through their conversation, they were posting links that supposedly allowed access to random people's webcams. Then one of the users added my username and asked me if I wanted to look at random people's webcams and screens. I said sure, and he sent me a link. I clicked on it and some video of a guy appeared on my screen. He was wearing headphones and staring straight ahead. I typed in the chat asking if it was genuine, and the guy who sent the link said yes. I sat there for a couple minutes watching random people blankly stare ahead at their computers. It was honestly pretty funny until I clicked to the next page and my face showed up. My first thought was the guy was pranking me, so I typed, haha, very funny, but apparently the guy who had sent me the link had signed out from the chat. That was weird. I just sat there waiting for it to move on to the next person's webcam, but it sat on mine for longer than the others. It was just my unimpressed face staring back at me with my dark bedroom in the background. I was getting tired of this and started moving my cursor to close the website, but that's when I noticed something. In the darkness and the shit quality of my webcam, I could see someone standing in my room behind me. Instantly, I spun around, but there was no one there. My empty bedroom. I turned back around and instantly closed the site. Then I got another message from someone in the group chat. It read, "I've seen you browsing this place a lot, and I've looked into you. I know you're just a kid, and I'd hate for one of these guys to do something to you. I strongly recommend you take my advice and never come back here again." After that, I deleted Tor, and it's safe to say my deep web browsing days are over.
I was a regular on dark web chat rooms when I graduated college and lived alone. One Friday night, I decided to enter one of these chats, and a guy posted a link to an Onion site saying it's a fun Q&A game we should check out. I clicked on it, and it brought me to a full screen black background with the red text that said welcome, and underneath that read, "Warning, the following game will mess with your mind," or something like that. There was 2 links that read leave and continue. I clicked continue. What followed was around 10 pages of average funny questions. It was humorous, but I answered each one careful not to reveal any information about myself. That was when things took a dark turn. One question popped up, asking me who I'd rather kill, my dog or cousin. As a joke, I chose cousin because my cousin's a little shit. More questions started to appear like this, and then at the next one, a video screen appeared. It showed a woman chained to a chair and a guy wearing a hood and a purge-like mask standing next to her. The question below read, what should I kill her with? The options were poison, power drill, and machete. At first I thought it was another joke and the screen was a picture, until the masked man waved at me. I opened the chat room and told the guy his Q&A game was messed up. He responded with, "Well, I'm waiting, gun, power drill, or machete." I said, "There's no way that's actually you." He just responded with, "Lol, go back to the game." I clicked back on it, and at first I didn't know what I was looking at. It was a video of someone walking down a street. The person recording turned the camera around. It was a masked guy. He turned the camera back around and pointed at a street sign. It was my street. I opened the chat room and commanded the douche to stop messing with me. He responded with, "LeMayo, see you soon." I ran downstairs and made sure the front door and back door were locked. Then I grabbed the phone and dialed 911 and ran back upstairs to my computer. The video now showed someone's window, and inside that window was me looking at my computer. I turned to the window, but my cul-de-sac was empty. I turned back to the computer and saw that he was at my back door. As I explained the situation to the police, he tried the doorknob, but it was locked, and then he ran around the side yard. I ran downstairs with my laptop and saw him passing by the living room windows. The police said they were on their way, and I looked back down at my laptop to see the Q&A game was on a different screen. It was similar to the beginning screen, except it read, "You've made it to the end," and below that, in smaller lettering, "Alive." When the police came, I reported the game to them, but there was no way I could ever access that group chat to show it to them. They searched my property and turned up nothing. I spent the night at my friend's house and have since installed cameras and never gone on the deep web again.